So obviously the layup of that you heard them, but we know that Mamdani does want to tax the rich more, bring it up about 2%. He can't do that on his own. You've previously said that you wouldn't be raising taxes. Have you reconsidered that stance?
No, I would say one energetic rally does not get me to change my positions, I assure
Okay.
you. But I do hear people's voices. I process what everybody says, but I'm also have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous.
Did you get that?
I'm concerned.
1.5% of New Yorkers account for a third of their budget. But so why didn't she say this while he was running? Why is it now that she says it? Why didn't she do this when he was running his mouth about we're giving free stuff to everybody? Why? Where was Hochul? What happened? Why is it that she's only telling the truth about Zohran Mamdani now that he is going to be mayor? I'm going to be honest with you. I believe she couldn't afford to alienate the purple hair people that were going to vote for Mamdani. She had to. Because then it's going to be like, well, I don't understand why the government is not, the governor should be behind him. And by the way, she endorsed him. And now she's telling you point blank, no, he's not going to do that because I'm not going to allow it. No 2%. No 1%. Not 0.5%. She just told you 1.5% of New York is paying for a third of their budget. So all those freebies that everybody complains about, okay, that's how you're getting the freebies. Man, this just tells me she doesn't really care about New Yorkers as much as she cares about the power.
About out-migration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget.
Wait, hang on a second. What did she say?
Have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous. I'm concerned about out-migration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget.
She is concerned about the outward migration. Why is that? Because she knows that rich people have options. Rich people are going to bail. And they'll just come back after Mamdani is already, destroyed New York City. Why didn't she go tell his constituents that? What's going on? Why did she wait? It's almost as if she figured, well, there's really nothing he can do. She's not going to be able to destroy anything. The whole free buses thing it's so ridiculous, just on its face. Who's going to pay the bus driver? Unless you've got self-driving buses, who's going to drive them? Who's going to pay for the maintenance and upkeep of the buses? As far as I understand, gas isn't free. Who's going to purchase the gas? Who? And by the way, all of those bus drivers have a health care plan, I can guarantee you. Who's going to pay for that? See, it's really the New Yorkers, I understand, that I should be upset with, but she could have come out and said this. Just really rain on his parade of free stuff. And by the way, there's a reason that he didn't have a real interview. There's a reason that he wouldn't sit down with, Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful. because he would have to answer questions like I'm giving. How are you going to pay the bus driver if it's free? So people should ask, well, let's see. Well, when we pay the fare, where does that money go? The ignorance of our electorate is maddening. Just maddening. I gotta tell you, this doesn't surprise me at all. That she would now come out and pull that rug right from under the Mamdani, train. It's like, no, you ain't doing any of that. Most of the stuff that he promised, he's not going to be able to do. What about, sending health or social workers into domestic disputes? If you don't know a cop, then you don't know this. Those are the most volatile, dangerous situations a cop gets into, where he's beating on the girl or the girl is beating on him, or that's the most dangerous. That's the point where they're going to lose their life. And he's going to send social workers. I tell you, man, this proves, as a governor, it should have been required of her to tell the truth.
I cannot make up for that with middle class tax increases. I cannot do that to the middle class and the struggling New Yorkers. So this is the balance. I mean, this is my position. I'm always having conversations with the leaders.
So she can't. So this is what she just said. Not going to tax the rich. Not going to tax the middle class to get his little freebies out there. What does that leave? It gives you Mamdani actually just being a figurehead. Now, there is some damage he can still do as mayor. He already told you he's going to start commandeering the buildings. Oh, yeah. If they don't, make repairs expeditiously, he's just going to start commandeering them. Like, New Yorkers, what were you thinking? Seriously. So now the truth is out. Although she endorsed him, she's not going to give him anything he needs to actually implement the stuff he needed to implement. Now, I would imagine as, a mayor, maybe he can use, eminent domain to seize property. I guess. He was saying, if you don't repair XYZ, these slumlords, we're going to commandeer your building. It's like, well, you just put a rent freeze on them. How is he supposed to get everything done and you just froze him out? Hey, man. Hey, guess what? I don't live in New York. I would have never voted for this guy and said, yeah, I don't get it. But apparently New Yorkers, particularly migrant New Yorkers, really think this guy can pull it off. So, yeah, let's see what happens. All right, guys, that's it for now. If you like the video, smash the like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.